Driving the number 11 Local Motors Toyota from Daytona Beach, Florida, Ben Kennedy.
Very few people have the connection to a driver that Lesa France Kennedy had.
Ben's doing a great job of racing hard in his first truck race.
Her son Ben made his truck debut in 2013, even though his parents said they would support any career decision he made.
He puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's very hard on himself. And part of that could come from his background. Part of that could come through some of the challenges that he's been through. We've all been through challenges. But he's very aware of the need to work hard and to compete.
The first thing I thought of when I met him was, wow, what it would mean if he won this race in his future. What would that mean for you, and what would that mean for this business?
I think it would be absolutely just overwhelming, and I would love to see that day. I would absolutely love to see that day for him. When your child puts so much of themselves into a particular passion, you want to see them succeed, and I think that would really make his career. It would set him in a really good place, regardless of if he continued on the racetrack or maybe took it in a different direction. But I think that's the accomplishment he's looking for. I did it.
That's the personal side, but this is the great-grandson of the founder of NASCAR. You couldn't write a better script.
You could not script it any better than that. There is no doubt about it. And his grandfather was a great-grandfather was a racer, so that would really carry it into the next generation.
What about his notion of management?
He really doesn't like to talk about it very much.
He doesn't?
No.
Why?
Because he's solely focused on racing, and he has told me that he wants to see how far he can take that. He needs to know for himself. And in listening to that, I think the one thing that's really cool about him racing now is he's learning a lot about the business, and it's through the passionate side that he has. So he's learning about sponsorships, he's learning about marketing, he's learning about sales, he has to sell himself. Those are important tools to have.
So he's not ruling out being the big boss one day. Are you?
No. No, I'm not ruling anything out right now. I don't know where this will take him, but right now he's totally focused on racing, I can tell you.
Your late husband was killed in a crash, a plane crash, along with several other people. That had to have been the low point of your life.
It was. 2007 was the toughest year of our life, and I lost my father the month before that. He'd been sick for a long time, even though it was expected, not easy. And I adored my dad. And then a month later, unexpected, my husband died in a plane crash, and it was near here. He was a student pilot, and he took off. It was a beautiful day, and we were going on a trip later that day. I told him not to be late, and he laughed, and it didn't work out that way. It didn't work out that way.
How did you handle putting your life back together, and in 2 years later, taking over the helm of this business?
Really, well, Ben was 15, so we focused on school, and trying to get back in the groove with school was the first priority. And then as a mother, you can't afford to take time out. You just have to get going again. And my husband, I was married for 20 years. He was a great dad. He was a great husband. And he loved NASCAR. He was so supportive of it. And he was a surgeon, and he oftentimes spent time in the care center here. And he had medical advice for NASCAR unofficially. And my dad leaned on him sometimes in that area. And I knew he'd want us to go on.
He said that one of the things that helped get him through was spending a lot of time with you, and you had your special moments. And he didn't go into great detail. Can you?
I think really that first year, the most special moments that I had were when he and I would learn something new together, and we would look back and laugh and say, well, your dad knew how to start the boat, but I don't, so, you know, get the manual out. And there were just maybe some things like that that would help bring back the memory, and we'd have a lighthearted moment about it, but those were some of the special times that we had.